Morning, Mikel.
Morning.
If we can start with team news, please, and most notably Bukayo Saka. How are you looking for the game with Villa?
We have a training session today. We have 2 or 3 players that finished the game with some issues, and we have to review them today.
How's Bukayo looking, though, as you understand it?
He hasn't trained yet, so again, we have to assess him today and see how he is.
Okay. Alexandre Lacazette obviously had an impact when he came on the other night, got the goal. What more does he have to do to have more of a shout of featuring more regularly?
He needs to keep doing what he's doing. He had a good impact as well when he came on against Brighton. He's a player that since I've been here, he's played a lot and has been really important, and he will continue to be important.
You also said that you were guilty at times of playing with the handbrake on. What can you do to ensure that doesn't happen?
That after scoring the goal and after hitting the level of performance that we're hitting again after the first part of the game, just make sure that we go for the second ball and we continue to play with the same fluidity, with the same intention, and we don't start to defend something that we have earned, because the game is really long and we have to do that for longer periods in the game.
And Aston Villa, as a test, how do you see this one?
It is a test, and they have shown how difficult they've been against us, because we haven't got the results that we wanted recently against them. So we know they have improved their squad, the way they play a lot in the last few seasons. They are showing a lot of ambition, the way they are recruiting as well, and it will be a difficult game for sure.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Gary from Sky in the room.
Yes, hello, Mikel.
Hi.
You said there were 2 or 3 players that you had slight concerns about. Can you tell us?
No, but there are a few.
Go on. Go on, tell us.
No.
And with Bukayo, I mean, I don't know if you're a betting man, but if you were a betting man, would you back him being available tomorrow?
Yes, I'm not a betting man, and it's down to the doctors and himself, see how he recovers and how he's feeling between today and tomorrow.
He's important to you though, isn't he? So you'll be keeping your fingers crossed.
It is very important, and he's shown how important it is for the team.
Obviously, Lacazette came on. You must have noticed the welcome that the crowd gave him when he came on, and then of course made a difference.
Well, I think he was able to transmit that energy, and that was contagious for the rest of the team and for the stadium. And he created a different atmosphere straight away with his energy, with his quality as well, and determination that he showed to change the result straight away, and that belief that he had in himself that he could do it.
Because in a couple of months he can start reaching agreements with other clubs, can't he? Is that a shame?
It's the situation that we have, and we have to accept it. I cannot ask anything from the player, the way he's dealing with that situation, and it's not an individual situation. It's a situation that has a knock-on effect, because others that we have to deal as well in the past and still now, to see what the best option is going to be for everybody at the end of the season.
It's a credit to him that the way he still, despite that situation, gets his head down and tries his best. I think he's had 1 goal or assist every 46 minutes so far this season.
I had no doubts about that, and if I would, probably I would suggest to do something different with him in the summer. When a player could not find the motivation or is interested just with his financial future. And it's not the case with Laka, and he showed that since I've been here every single day, and that's why he's a really important player for us.
So just finally, to clarify, if it were down to you, wasn't anything to do with agents or money or anything like that, he would stay at the club?
Well, he's our player, and I treat him like any other player, not because he has a year left or no year left. I'm going to treat him differently, and that's what he deserves.
Can I ask you about Dean Smith, the job he's doing? I think he's 3 years in the job this week. So obviously they've put faith in him and it's paying off.
It is. I really like him, first of all, as a person, how he's, everything that I heard from him is really, really positive. He's building, I think, a team and a club with different ambitions, and credit to him, and as well the ownership, obviously, that they are giving him the time and the credit to do that, and he's doing a really good job.
I think they've had more than 48 hours longer than you to prepare for this game. Will that make a difference?
I hope no. I hope we had enough time, and everybody's focused and available. We play at home We know the type of game that we need to play to beat them, and our focus is only there.
Just finally from me, apparently we're getting lots of little nice bits of insight from Jack during his time here at the training ground. He says that in recent sprint tests, Kieran Tierney is actually the fastest player at the club. Were you aware of that?
Yes, well, depending on the test, but Kieran for sure is one of the quickest, depending on the distances and the type of measurements that you want to take there. But for sure, he's one of the fastest.
22 to 23 miles per hour he's clocked out. What's your going rate these days?
Well, when I'm in the car, I'm pretty fast.
Excellent.
Thanks, Gary. George, BBC.
Thanks, Mark. Mikel, I know you won't reveal the 2 or 3 players that are injured, but can you reveal whether Lacazette will be starting tomorrow night?
Obviously, George, you know what I won't do that.
Okay, we'll read into that. Did you ever get an explanation as regarding to why James McArthur wasn't sent off in the end for that tackle on Bukayo?
No, we had communications with the referees and the association to try to explain why they didn't intervene in that action, when the explanation that we had from the start of the season was that and they would, and when there is an obvious error there, they have to take action, and they didn't, and there are actions that determine a football match and the result, and for me it's not acceptable.
Jurgen Klopp come up with an interesting phrase, I thought, on Tuesday night when he said that Liverpool won dirty, and I just wondered if that's something that your Arsenal team need to do, is win matches when they're not playing well. Is that something you agree with?
Yes, my focus is to win when and playing well, and this is what we have to do. When we were playing well and the phases that we played well, we dominated the game, we generated the chances, and we deserve to win the game. The issues come, we don't start to do that. But when you do that, you have to show enough resilience and know how to manage those situations, like we had to do against Brighton in certain moments, and still be able to win the match. And sometimes individual actions, a set piece or just your determination helps you to do that. And of course, is another way of winning, and it has to be present in the way the team acts and thinks.
And can I just ask you, there was a player you was linked with a lot in the summer, Buendia. Did you ever come close to signing him? Can you explain why that move didn't work out?
I never discussed the players that we were interested in, and I'm not going to do that now.
No problem. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Ian, Talk Sport.
Hi, Mikel. How are you?
Good.
Mikel, Steve Bruce lost his job yesterday up at Newcastle. And I thought gave quite a powerful statement afterwards about the fact that he'd never really won over the fans, and, you know, he takes his job home with him and it affects his family life. I think it's fair to say that the Arsenal support is mainly behind you, but there are still some you have to try and win over. So how do you not take your job home with you? How do you avoid being sad at home and it affecting your wife and your children?
Well, I was really sad after reading that statement from Steve. First of all, because I know him personally. And secondly, with what he transmitted in his words. You're talking about somebody that's been in the game over 40 years as a player, as a manager, that has managed over 1,000 games. And he's telling you, with that experience, with that level of expertise that he has, because you have to be able to sustain at that level, that he struggles with that kind of situation, with that kind of abuse. So I think we have to reflect. And we can't take for granted and accept certain things because they are how they are. No, we are here as well to improve them and change them, like we do with any rules, with any fixture list that we have, with anything that we want to improve for our supporters, fans, stadiums, facilities, broadcast. Why we don't spend more time and we have an open table to discuss how we can do that? Because I think we have to think about one of the most experienced managers in England history is telling you that on a letter. You can't just ignore that. For me, it's a very serious statement, and it's something that has to change and has to start to change.
How can we change that then? And do the fans have, in a way, too powerful a voice? I mean,
we cannot blame the fans, guys. Only say, no, it's the fans. No, it's not the fans. It's football is in an industry that is that big, that has such a big impact in society, that everybody has an opinion, and it's great. to have a strong opinion and be so convinced about what you see and how you judge people act, you don't have to study. Don't even have to be able to play football. You can just give a strong opinion and that's it. If you talk about chemistry, you don't do that. If you talk about law, a law case that you don't have that opinion because you have to study and then you don't say anything. But you can say anything about that. And it's good because it creates debate, it creates opinion, and it's great. But when you cross that line, I think it becomes really difficult because it's not a man, it's a family, it's his loved ones, it's the environment, and I think we have to reflect. I was really impressed with how he explained openly how he felt, and I didn't like it, to be fair.
Finally, you were talking there about Alexander Lacazette and his contract running down. He's maybe able to talk to other clubs in a couple of months' time. This happens a lot at Arsenal. There doesn't seem to be quite a lot of, 2 years left on someone's contract. Let's get them in, sit them down, and extend the contract, even if you don't actually want to keep the player. Is that a problem for the football club?
It's a problem that occurs every club because the contract has the length and players have certain ages and certain phases in their career. And it's something common that you have to be able to deal with.
So when you have someone like Alexander Lacazette, who has always scored important goals for Arsenal, and it kind of happened a bit with Olivier Giroud as well, is there no thought of, let's just give him another year just to buy ourselves, the football club, a little bit of extra time and space?
That's a strategy that you can use. Is when do you do it? You can do it the year before. You can do it during the season, at the end of the season. There are very different ways. Every player acts differently. He needs a different level of motivation and a different level of confidence or reassurance that he's got the trust and belief of the club. Every case is singular.
Thanks.
Good luck tomorrow, Mikel.
Thank you.
Mark, Press Association.
Hi, Mikel. Just another quick one on Lacazette, if that's okay. Obviously, you say he's not financially motivated and that you're happy with how he's performing. But if there was such a desire for him to stay, would there not have been a way to have already offered him a new deal?
Well, depends in a lot of things. It's not just a matter of be willing. It's being possible to fulfill that will and the when, which is very important as well.
If that's impossible to do, does that mean that he'll definitely not be offered a new deal then?
No, I wouldn't say that. Anything is possible.
Do you find it strange that you're being asked to play on a Friday, having played on a Monday? That's quite a quirk of the fixtures for you, isn't it?
It is very strange, and when we have no European football, it's difficult to understand, but it's what it is, and we can give our opinion, but at the end we have no say on that.
Does it put you at a disadvantage?
I don't want to think like that. If we focus on the game, we have enough days to recover and prepare the game, and that's what we're going to do.
Yourself, Edu, and the club were widely criticised for selling Emi Martinez last year. But does the signing and then the subsequent form of Aaron Ramsdale prove that you were right to do so?
I don't know. We made decisions with the best possible intention and looking for the best interest of the club. But as well, it was a very strong participant. It was Emi who deserved all the credit for the amount of time that he spent at the club. And don't forget that he had different spells on loan as well. And he got to a point in his career when under me he started to play and very important games, and he did extremely well. That his ambition, his belief, and why he went to take his career was very different, and it was urgent for him because he was so patient for so long. And I'm really happy that he's doing well. He's a great kid. I play with him, I manage him, and he has tremendous personality as well. And he's showing that at Aston Villa and the national team. And I can say that I'm happy for him.
Once he left, it seemed like a bit of a problem position for the club to find the right balance with goalkeepers. Do you think that now Aaron's in and you've got Burnt as the second choice?
We have two fantastic goalkeepers. We have another 2 academy players behind them, and I think we are really strong in that position at the moment.
And then, just finally from me, Mikel, you played 4-3-3 on Monday night. Given the result and the performance, is that a formation you're going to have to almost pick and choose when you're going to use against certain opposition? It's not one you can play every week.
If we play 4-3-3 the way we play the first 20 minutes, you win the game, it's top. If you start to play the way we play the following 20 minutes, it doesn't work because it's a game that is a transition game, and we don't have the players to do that when we play in that formation. The play with in a different part of the game in the last 20 minutes is something that we haven't done a lot as well, but it worked because we generate what we wanted. We have to be flexible, and we have to play players in their strengths and when they're on that play.